Here's a super neuroscience-y take on spirituality. So essentially, the way that we are is just a default protein pathway in our brain, right? These synapses, the wiring of our cells. And these synapses get there through repetition, right? Electricity fires down the same pathway, causing it to myelinate, right? Myelin is a protein that wraps around a synaptic pathway each time electricity fires down it, so that it's more conducive, right? The electricity can fire down it more quickly. It becomes more conducive. So our personality is the default way that we are, the thing that we've accepted and accumulated from the world. So personal development is all about developing a sensitivity to the automatic firings of an old self that are inconsistent with the higher logic that we already hold within, right? This is the advice that we willingly give to others, but have difficulty listening to ourselves. And it's this internal hypocrisy that we must wash away through the continual endeavor to catch these old firings and replace them with that higher logic, and doing so fearlessly. So confidence is earned through the generation of a synaptic pathway on the other side of a situation that you were initially afraid to commit to. So you have to be afraid and have logic, act to earn the pathway and the deletion of the fight or flight response in response to the thing that you were always afraid to do. So positivity impacts our neurology faster than the repetition of negativity. So the depressive identity that took decades to form, or really just a moment to form in your childhood and then decades of reinforcing, can be deleted faster than it originally took to create, right? This is the psychedelic or meditative experience where you have an ego collapse or a psychological transformation, a sudden witnessing into a higher spiritual realm that allows you to navigate reality from then on, from a completely different orientation in terms of the accumulation of information. So what we're fighting against when we're trying to change ourselves is literally the strength of neurology in contrast to the new little insight that we haven't gotten good at integrating into an entire personality. So unless we're super obsessed and avid about doing that, we will never cultivate enough strength within that neurology to defeat the automatic firings of an old self. So I acknowledge very little emotion in this whole thing, but it's a very emotional process. It's not just like suddenly one day you just cultivate enough pathways and you're good, bro. No. It's a very heavily emotional, spiritual, personal experience, and it takes a long amount of time. But 15 minutes a day is all it takes to impact a permanent change within your neurology, and probably even less time. But 15 minutes is a good place to start if you're rewiring the entire context of how you're using the brain to navigate your reality, right? That's what we're doing all the time. Even when we're depressed, when we're happy, we're using the brain to execute a function. We have a will, right? So it's the first acceptance that we're not a victim and that we're in control, at least a little bit, that we need to enact upon to make any change at all.